They kicked me out over lies, and now my divorce turned their world upside down. My name is Rebecca Miller, and for almost 15 years I thought I had built a perfect life with my husband, Mark. We lived in a quiet suburban neighborhood in Dallas, Texas, where everyone seemed to know everyone else's business. Mark and I married young, right out of college, and for a long time, I thought our love was unshakable. We had 2 children, Emily and Ryan, who were the center of my world. I gave up my career in marketing to raise them, while Mark climbed the corporate ladder in his financial firm. For years, I poured everything into my family. I cooked, cleaned, showed up at every soccer game, every piano recital, and made sure birthdays were unforgettable. But as the years went by, Mark grew more distant. He stayed late at work, his phone was always buzzing, and conversations turned into short exchanges. I told myself it was just stress, that his job was demanding, and that things would get better. But deep down, I felt something wasn't right. Then, it all came crashing down one evening when his family invited me over for a serious talk. Mark's mother, Patricia, and his sister, Hannah, sat me down with cold stares and told me they knew the truth about me. They accused me of cheating on Mark. I was stunned, my jaw almost hit the floor. They said they had proof from neighbors who supposedly saw me sneaking around with another man. My heart pounded in my chest because I knew it was all lies. I had never betrayed my husband. I asked for evidence, but they brushed me off, saying Mark believed them, and that was enough. When Mark finally arrived, I looked at him, waiting for him to defend me, but he didn't. His silence told me everything. He believed them. Without even hearing my side, he told me to pack my things and leave the house. My children were crying, begging me not to go, but Patricia grabbed their shoulders and said, "Your mother made her choice." I walked out of that house that night with nothing but a small bag of clothes and tears streaming down my face. I stayed at my best friend Jessica's apartment for weeks, broken and lost. I couldn't believe the man I had spent half my life with had tossed me aside over lies. Jessica was my rock, reminding me of who I was and how much I had given to that marriage. She encouraged me to fight back, to stand up for myself. Slowly, with her help, I regained my strength. I decided to file for divorce, not because I wanted to end my marriage, but because Mark had already ended it when he chose lies over truth. The divorce process was brutal. Mark's family painted me as the villain in every courtroom session. They told the judge I was unstable, unfaithful, and unfit to care for the children. But I had something they didn't, the truth. I gathered every shred of evidence I could, from text messages between me and Mark showing his coldness, to testimonies from friends and neighbors who vouched for my character. My lawyer, a sharp woman named Claire, told me, "Rebecca, they're underestimating you. Let them dig their own hole." And they did, because while they were busy lying about me, Mark's secrets began to unravel. Claire's team discovered financial discrepancies in Mark's accounts. Money was missing, large amounts withdrawn under strange circumstances. It turned out Mark had been funding expensive dinners, gifts, and trips for a co-worker named Stephanie. Yes, the man who accused me of cheating had been the one cheating all along. The courtroom turned tense when Claire presented receipts of hotel stays, jewelry purchases, and even emails between Mark and Stephanie. The smug look on Patricia's face vanished instantly. Hannah, who had once called me a homewrecker, sat pale and silent. The judge looked directly at Mark and said, "It seems the accusations against Mrs. Miller were unfounded. On the contrary, it appears Mr. Miller has been less than honest with this court." That was the moment everything shifted. The lies they used to kick me out boomeranged back and hit them harder than they ever expected. The judge granted me primary custody of Emily and Ryan, along with a generous share of marital assets. Mark was ordered to pay child support, and the evidence of his financial misconduct jeopardized his career at the firm. Within months, he was forced to resign. The man who once stood tall and proud was suddenly unemployed, disgraced, and broke. As for Patricia and Hannah, the relationship they thought they secured with Mark and the children crumbled. Emily and Ryan saw the truth for themselves. They asked me one night, through tears, why Grandma and Aunt Hannah lied about me. I had no answer except, sometimes people say hurtful things because they don't know how to face their own mistakes. The children no longer wanted to visit them, and the family that once celebrated my downfall now sat in silence at their dinner table. Meanwhile, I rebuilt my life. I went back to work in marketing, landing a great position at a local agency. Jessica cheered me on every step of the way, and slowly, I began to smile again. Emily and Ryan thrived in school, and our home, though smaller, was filled with love and laughter. I learned how strong I truly was, and that being kicked out was not the end of me, but the beginning of a better life. Months later, I ran into Hannah at the grocery store. Her eyes were tired, and she looked much older than her 32 years. She mumbled an apology, admitting they had been wrong, that they had believed Mark's lies and added fuel to the fire. For a moment, I felt the old anger rise in me, but then I realized I had already moved past them. I didn't need their apology to heal. My life was already proof that their lies couldn't destroy me. My divorce didn't just change my world, it turned theirs upside down. They lost the control they once thought they had, and in the process, they exposed their own hypocrisy. The very lies that kicked me out destroyed the foundation of their family. And me. I walked out of the ashes stronger, freer, and more determined than ever to never let anyone silence me again. My children saw their mother fight for truth and dignity, and I knew that was the greatest victory of all.